Greetings, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you are staying dry as the remnants of Hurricane Zeta are passing through Delmarva right now. I would first like to thank all members of our campus community who continue to participate in testing and taking the necessary precautions to help keep COVID-19 cases down. While SU's COVID-19 positivity rate remains extremely low, it is important now more than ever to continue to be careful as cases climb across our nation. Now, looking ahead at next week, wow, there are a lot of things happening. Tomorrow, SU will host 2 virtual town halls to discuss the findings from our campus climate survey. All members of our campus community who would like to hear more about the outcomes and next steps are invited to join. Please visit the Campus Climate Study webpage to register. I look forward to seeing you all there. Regarding this weekend, yes, it's Halloween, and it's a blue moon, and the end of daylight savings time. Don't forget to turn your clocks back. I encourage you to consider participating in activities here on campus this weekend. On Friday, there's a virtual Hocus Pocus themed paint class. On Saturday, SOAP is screening The Grudge with a costume contest and giveaways. Residence halls also are hosting programs, so check with your RA for that. Please celebrate safely with members of your family or your pod to decrease the risk of spreading COVID-19. Now, looking ahead to November, students living on campus received an email regarding Thanksgiving housing earlier this week from the Housing Office. SU's residence halls traditionally close for the Thanksgiving break. However, we understand that concerns about possible COVID-19 exposure at home or from Salisbury may cause some to question holiday travel this year. Please review the email and complete the online form if you intend to remain on campus during the break. This will help us make decisions regarding residence halls and services, so I encourage you to respond. We've learned a lot over the past 7 months, and we are continuing to expand our campus health team to best serve our SU community. Now, while Student Health Services provides health resources solely for students, Campus Health was created to serve all students, faculty, and staff. We added 2 registered nurses this semester, 2 medical assistants are being hired, and a search is underway for a nurse practitioner for early 2021. These new positions will ensure that students who are isolating on or off campus and those quarantined due to potential exposure will receive regular communication with health professionals. They also will provide more readily available resources for SU employees. In addition, our campus health team will allow the university to expand in-house COVID-19 testing opportunities. SU's current policy of testing every 30 days and after breaks is expected to continue into the spring semester. Don't forget to sign up now for November and December dates. We continue to look ahead to spring semester. As I mentioned last week, we now have officially announced that SU's academic calendar will be adjusted with a shorter spring break on March 15th and 16th to minimize the risks associated with travel. Similar to this semester, more than half of SU's spring classes are expected to be held either face-to-face or in a hybrid modality. You can check online now for course details. For those who are interested, SU's Counseling Center does offer a Coping with COVID support group for students, and that group meets on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. You can contact this Counseling Center to register. Okay, at this time, I will take any questions. Eli, what have we got coming in?
Thanks, Dr. Wight. The first question is, why isn't there an automatic 7-day advance notice for the need to have a campus test?
Good question. So our IT team, who've been working, pedal to the metal all during the last 7 months, is now building exactly this system. It will send reminders to students and employees when their next test is coming up due shortly. The frequency of reminders will increase as you get closer to the date, but for right now we're doing that manually, But until the automatic system is ready, you should keep an eye on the date of your last test and make sure that you sign up for your next test in plenty of time.
And a related question, Dr. Wight, why isn't there enough capacity to test each week? For example, this week should have been a heavy week, and will students miss class because there are not enough days for testing available?
Actually, we do have lots of capacity for testing, and to the best of my knowledge, we have not actually reached capacity for testing on any day yet. But sometimes the dates disappear from the calendar because we have to take that information, the list of students and employees, and send that to UMB, our testing partner, so that they can prepare to process the tests when the samples go up. So you'll see dates appear and disappear, but you won't always see all of the dates on the testing site. But do go ahead and watch for those testing dates, sign up early, and if you get caught in a bind, send us a message, and we will do our best to accommodate you.
Thank you, Dr. Wight. Another question about testing. How do you develop the anticipated demand forecast and provide that supply of testing capacity?
Well, a couple of different ways. We do have lists of when people took their tests, and so particularly about 30 days past a mandatory testing period, we build in extra capacity to handle the expected load of people coming in. We monitor how many people are signing up for tests on the Calendly site. So a lot of different ways. But again, I think we have plenty of capacity, and I am reminded to thank our whole team who have been carrying out the testing. We have volunteers from athletics, from athletic training, from nursing, from all over campus who help us to help students and employees with their testing. And we always have a health professional on standby at the testing site to help anybody who needs help.
Okay, Dr. Wight, we're getting some questions about Thanksgiving. The first is, do students have to quarantine when they get back, I'm assuming from Thanksgiving break, before they can come to campus?
No, at this time we are not anticipating the need to quarantine, but everyone has to have a test in order to be cleared to come back to campus. That is a mandatory test after the Thanksgiving break. So make sure that you have a test scheduled right after Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dr. Wight. So I'm going to try to combine some of the questions. Can you speak about why Thanksgiving break is being treated differently than spring break, or why students are being encouraged to get a test when they come back from Thanksgiving break, and why that might not be the case after spring break?
Sure. Actually, we're treating Thanksgiving break and spring break very similarly. Thanksgiving break is a partial week break, and spring break is now a partial week break instead of a full week break. We ask everybody to test. We require everybody to test when they come back from Thanksgiving break. And that's just because right now the rate of positivity in places all across the country is high and it's climbing. And so we want to make sure that everybody who comes back to campus has a test so we can root out those who are positive and get them the care that they need for the disease. We don't know what position we're going to be in spring break, and we may very well require students and faculty and staff to take a test after spring break. It all depends on what the national and local scene look like at that time. But as far as I can see, we are treating those two breaks on a very similar way.
And Dr. Wight, if you'll allow me to answer a question, someone asked why there was only one testing day available after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is based on a university health team decision late yesterday, they are changing the testing days from Sunday to Tuesday to Friday. based on the incubation period. So those tests are being uploaded right now. Those dates will be available soon. So right now, the only date available after Thanksgiving break is the Tuesday, and the rest of the dates will be uploaded shortly.
Okay, I missed that. I think I signed up for a test on Sunday or Monday. Does that mean I have to reschedule?
So you will receive an email with an option to reschedule. You'll basically get preference to reschedule for any of the newly available dates.
Okay, so the new dates are going to be Tuesday through Friday.
That's correct.
Not Sunday through Wednesday.
That's correct.
Right after Thanksgiving break.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you for the correction.
Dr. Wight, another question. Will students and employees be allowed on campus after Thanksgiving break while they're waiting for their test?
Yes, yeah. So we require you to have a test somewhere from Tuesday till Friday of that week. But yes, you can be on campus during that week while you wait for the results of your test.
Thank you, Dr. Wight. I think that covers the questions for now. There were a lot of questions about spring break and Thanksgiving break, but I think that kind of got the gist of them.
Okay. Thank you for helping me with that, Eli. Now, I have one last question for all of you. Did you know there's an election coming up next week? You could hardly miss it. I would like to remind our SU community about the importance of civility, regardless of the outcome of the election, and when we find out about the outcome of the election, which is also uncertain. Thank you for respecting each other's rights and each other's opinions. For those who would like to engage in conversations after the election, SU will host several Zoom rooms. Please watch your SU email for details. I think it's great that so many of you have already cast your ballots via mail-in or early voting. If you haven't, here's one more pitch from your fellow Sea Gulls to do so. We'll see you back here next week. Hi, Sea Gulls. There is so much going on in the world, and sometimes we can feel powerless or like there's not much we can do to make changes.
But there is something you can do. There's something almost all of us can do. We can make a difference by voting.
We're all history secondary ed majors here at Salisbury University.
We know that it's our civic duty to vote as future teachers of America.
Vote. Vote.
Vote. Vote.
The general election is Tuesday, November 3rd. This is the opportunity to shape the future of our country and vote for our next president and Congress. Be sure to vote on Tuesday, November 3rd and use the hashtag SUVotes2020 to tell us about it. Go Gulls!
Voting is a right today because people of different classes, genders, races, and sexes all fought for that right. Get out and vote. Make sure that your voice is heard because it matters. If you've elected to vote by mail, make sure you follow all of the instructions and return it as soon as possible. If you plan to vote in person, make sure you know where your polling location is by going to elections.maryland.gov/voting.
What is most important is that your voice is heard. This is your chance to have your say. And right now, it is more important than ever. So please, vote.
Less than 2/3 of eligible voters voted in the 2016 election. Make sure your voice is heard this year.
We all have different viewpoints, but we can still have thoughtful conversations with one another. Let's also keep in mind that we are a community that cares for each other, even when we disagree. You can debate issues without degrading each other, and we can also disagree without disliking each other. Be careful what you post on social media. What you do and say represents our community. Remember, don't forget to vote. No te olvides de ir a votar.
We may have different viewpoints, we may have different political ideas, but that's the beauty of our country and that's the beauty of our community. We are the future. We can be the change that we want to see. So on November 3rd, get out there and vote. And don't forget to turn in your absentee ballots. Fly high, Sea Gulls, and go vote.
We're encouraging all Sea Gulls, faculty, staff, students, alumni, supporters, and friends to make your voice heard during this election. Now is the time to put your voting plan into action.
You can also help your friends and family if they don't yet have a voting plan. But maybe you're still unsure, you have questions about how you're going to vote? You can visit PACE's webpage for details on both how to vote in Maryland and also in your home state.
Victoria and I have sent in our ballots, but there's still plenty of time to fill yours out or to find your polling location. So, whether you're voting in person, by mail, early, or on election day,
your voice matters.
And this is your chance to make it heard.
Salisbury University's Institute for Public Affairs and Civic Engagement helps to cultivate a more informed and democratic citizenry year-round, regardless of elections. Come learn what we can do together. Salisbury.edu/PACE.